Hi Noon, it's Breanne, and it's almost my birthday. I'm going to be 33. So I thought I would tell myself the top 33 things that I wish I would have known growing up that no one bothered to tell me. So here's number one, what I would tell my 1-year-old self. Hey, you're going to be breastfed by a neighbor. Dear 2-year-old self, you know when you fall down and get all scraped up at daycare? It's probably not a good idea to tell the cashier at the local Piggly Wiggly that your daddy did it. Dear 3-year-old self, even though she's your best friend, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for you to change your name to Ebony. Dear 4-year-old self, you know that window in your cousin's bathroom that also overlooks the sunroom? You might want to make sure that there's no one standing there pointing and laughing when you call your mom to come in and wipe your butt. By the way, wipe your own butt. Dear 5-year-old self, you do realize that putting paper clips and flattened staplers across your teeth isn't actually convincing anyone that you have a retainer. Dear 7-year-old self, you know when baby Jessica fell in the well for 3 days? It was one of these. Not one of these. Hashtag Sunday School. Dear 8-year-old self, now it is admirable that you and your best friend decided to sponsor a child across the world, but it probably is confusing when you continue to send cash and coins in an envelope for only 2 months. I hope she's doing okay. Dear 9-year-old self, now, starting a recycling business by going door to door and collecting cans in your wagon might seem like a great idea, but it's actually just going to cause an abundant amount of ants in your garage. Dear 10-year-old self, and when you think that you're playing Nintendo with your cousins and the controller isn't even plugged into the console, you're probably not winning. Dear 11-year-old self, I know that hypercolor technology is amazing, but it's probably not a good idea to let boys try it out while you're still wearing the shirt. Dear 12-year-old self, the year you became a woman, which happens, by the way, while you're on your one and only field trip at a water treatment plant when everyone is toting their disposable cameras. It is not going to go well for you. Dear 13-year-old self, here's something to remember when you're hanging out in the woods behind your house with your boyfriend in the winter. Number 1, there are no leaves on trees in the winter. Number 2, your dad owns a pair of binoculars. And number 3, he apparently doesn't think that you're too old for a spanking, even in front of your boyfriend. Dear 14-year-old self, while your B&G music collection is coming along quite nicely by mail for 20 CDs for a penny, you might as well not even bother to buy them because one day you're just going to sell them all at a place called CD Warehouse in order to buy cigarettes. Dear 15-year-old self, there really is no non-awkward way to sit through listening to a poem that your boyfriend has written you or a song he's composed. It's also awkward for everyone else around you. Dear 16-year-old self, you are the reason why my kids are not going to be getting their own car. There's no reason to pretend like you have a clown car. Chinese fire drills are hilarious. I know. You do have to put gas in the car on a regular basis. Dear 17-year-old self, it might seem like a good idea to hold onto the spoiler of a car to see if you can fly like Superman. It's not. Dear 18-year-old self, what's the statute of limitations? Never mind. I know, it probably seemed like a good idea at the time to put that cute boy's picture on your dashboard, but it's hiding a little light that's reminding you to get your oil changed, and since you didn't see it, your engine's gonna explode while you're on the highway. Dear 20-year-old self, Fashion Bug is not a cool store. Dear 21-year-old self, cheers, congratulations. You are not going to get drunk today. You are going to have morphine and have a baby. Dear 22-year-old self, there's really no nice way to tell you this. You are in fact too old and too young to have a Zanga. That was embarrassing. Dear 24-year-old self, just because there's a tornado watch during your one and only bachelorette party of your entire life doesn't mean that you have to go to the nearest bar that happens to be called Whiskey and Roses. Dear 27-year-old self, you are about to make the biggest mistake of your life. Do not buy the minivan. You have 2 kids. They don't even have that many friends. They don't play the cello. You're never gonna go on vacation. Dear 28-year-old self, now, you have made it 28 years without a tattoo. Because there's no reason to commit to something. It is not the Twin Towers. It is not an equal sign. It is supposed to be an 11. It's hideous. Now I know that you thought that the 20s were going to be the best you've ever looked, but guess what? You're going to have the worst acne of your entire life, be overweight, and decide to dye your hair brunette. It's a bad idea. Dear 30-year-old self. Oh, you're adorable. You really are. There's just no real one thing to pinpoint. Dear 31-year-old self. This is the year that you're going to learn that you don't have to take life so seriously and that it doesn't matter what people think of you. And so you'll make a complete fool of yourself on the internet. Congratulations. Dear 33-year-old self, I got nothing. So this is going to be the year that we hear from you guys. If you have anything that you want to see from our channel, if you want to tell me what your favorite year was so far, if you have any advice for me being 33, or if you have nothing else to say, at least tell me happy birthday. See you guys soon. Bye.